that us?
Please come to the front desk in the morning to check in.
All right. Hopefully they're open in time.
That's a
I think we can find ice. They say they don't have ice. So, pulling into the hotel. Kind of a little quick adventure to head north, search for some ice.
Drove a long way to find out there's no ice.
Well, maybe we'll go swimming or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Crazy summer, big drought, no water, turned into spring in September, and now back into summer, and here we are going into the first week of December with very little ice about anywhere. Have made it out a couple of times myself, small high elevation lakes, but this is our first big one. So we came up north, get out of the camera view here, came up north to find ice. Just getting ready to check into the hotel room and hopefully not fall on my butt because I think it rained and I got about a quarter of an inch of ice on the concrete. Not ideal. Beautiful little hotel room. Okay, well, gonna get the gear ready, get a good night's sleep. Maybe see you here in just a moment. Talk a little bit about some gear before we hit the sack. And see if we can put some fish on the ice tomorrow. So stay tuned. Okay, switching up cameras. I think we packed too much gear. Everything you would possibly need to drill 3 inches of ice. Right.
No, we got that in the truck. It's called the spud bar.
That's called spud bar. That's right. So yes, safety. 3 inches of ice. I'm not kidding you. So that might be about all we're fishing. We'll check it here in the morning, see what's happening. But we may not even get out there. You know, who knows? I mean, safety first. Picks, spud bars. I mean, all the necessary stuff. Not going alone. 2 of us going out. So we're gonna watch out, see what happens. There's been some interesting shenanigans that have been happening on this lake over the last couple of days. Sunday, the lake kind of split apart. North end, a little bit of a dangerous, kind of serious situation. There was, I think, 3 individuals that were stranded on an ice cap that came detached from the bank and kind of floated away, and search and rescue had to go get them. There were some I see mild hypothermia and stuff like that we heard as well on some of the reports. That's about 7-8 miles away from where we are planning on going, though. And we had heard reports the same day of people on 5 inches of ice in other areas of the lake. But a lot of springs in this lake, especially up where that occurred. We're just going to take it easy, kind of see what happens. It's a little bit of a mild weather trend. We got a storm coming in, so those of you who are out here in the west, it's kind of, I don't know if it's a western thing or what it is, but it always warms up before a storm comes in. And so we're sitting right at about 30, 32 degrees for our temperature projection here tomorrow. But it's supposed to cool off the day after that. We're going to here for a couple of days, at least a day and a half, and hopefully we catch them. What are we after?
Staying dry.
Staying dry. Staying dry. That's the hashtag staying dry. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to chase some trout, right? I think. Is that the plan?
Some very large
Very
brook trout,
large
cutthroat,
brook trout, cutthroat.
hybrid cut bows.
You're going to give it away. People are going to know where we're at.
Well, it's one of a handful of lakes in the western United States that has fishable ice. So yeah.
So you'll see where we're going. We're not going to tell you the name right now. We'll keep it a little bit of surprise until we come back on the video again here tomorrow. But yes, do a little research. It's going to be one of the first things that pop up on your feed. You know, if you're looking for lakes out west to fish, a nice fish specifically. But you got to do what you got to do. I mean, what a crazy year so far. Crazy winter season. First week of December, and almost no ice anywhere. I mean, there's a few high elevation lakes, I said, that we fished early. I fished early. Ian hasn't got on a lake yet this year, but
Rub it in.
there's not many to get on. That's kind of the issue, right? So, well, we're gonna go chase this one down and see what happens. I think this ice is gonna be thinner than what I was on last week. So,
Think so?
I think so.
It's encouraging.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. We're gonna give it what we can. Try a few different techniques. Kind of a unique fishery. I mean, this is a shallow water fishery in general, so
It certainly can fish really, really well.
it can fish very, very well.
Can also fish really slow.
And when we talk giant fish, I mean, we talked in the trout world as far as, cutthroat and hybrids and stuff like that.
You
I
had
mean,
the record here for 5 minutes, didn't you?
I did for 2 weeks. I
2
had
weeks.
the state catch and release hybrid record cut bow for about 2 weeks. But we're talking big fish. These fish can push 7, 8 pounds. There's been some reports of, unofficial reports, of course, of fish that are pushing that 9, 10 pound mark. Very common to see an average catch of about 18 inches or better on these fish. So fun. Big brook trout as well. 21, sometimes even 22-inch brook trout can show up in this lake. So, or who knows, it could be bigger fish in there too now. We'll go get them.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, we're gonna get some sleep, relax for a minute, get up bright and early. We'll see you on the ice. Hey, good morning, fellow anglers.
Morning.
Morning. We're here.
Talking
Yeah, we're here. Yeah. Still a little tired. I mean, we slept. But we are here. And do we want to tell them where? Everybody kind of knows this place, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Henry's Lake, Idaho, and early season for this. I mean,
Well, early ice.
Early ice, I guess you could say.
Late in the year.
Late in the year for this.
this like ice here.
Usually you're fishing it by the end of November. And crowds and crowds of people here. As you can see.
I bet that post did scare a lot of people away.
Yeah. Yeah, so in light of that incident here on Sunday, yeah, it is midweek too, but yeah, that incident, I think it did fluster a few people. About 6.8 feet of water, and we found those weeds we're talking about. And a common method out here for catching these fish is to get that second line, or even in Idaho you use up to 5 lines in Idaho, and set it up as a dead stick. So I'm using a contraption here called a jaw jacker. So if it's legal in the area that you're using it, then by all means I would get one, because these little buggers can be awesome for one, preventing the fish from gut hooking themselves, because it's such a fast automatic hook setting contraption, but can get those fish that are traveling through. Help you as an angler identify those travel routes, help triangulate your location in relationship to those routes, and put some fish on the ice. So basically simple contraption, folds up, pretty compact. You probably saw me unfold it right there, but this device will allow you to control rods up to, well, this is a 36-inch rod to kind of give you an idea. I prefer to use fiberglass based rods on this just because of the deflection of those rods is a little more consistent with the angle that you're actually dropping these or setting these for the strike. You don't want to put too much of an arc on those carbon rods. Basically, you can damage them quite easily. So, and then I'm using no weight at all, just a hook, and we're going to load this up with some bait. Didn't have these yesterday, but I think that might be our best choice for this. About a half a crawler. And I'm just going to load it up on the hook and just let the weight of the bait kind of pull it down into the water column. So, where do I go? There we go. Pretty simple apparatus. I'll show you how to set this up and get it ready to go once we get the bait on. And then I got a hole right behind me. I think is what we're going to drop that in. I'm going to jig this hole here. See if we can draw a few fish in. Okay. Okey-dokey. Alright, so the way this works, this has got a little loop. And I've used like a 20-pound test. It does come with a couple of loops when you buy the jaw jacker itself. And that little loop will come down to a locking mechanism here. And we'll show you some close-ups of this in just a little bit. And it's got a little hook on it. I put that loop through that hook, and then I have a spring trigger that flips up over the top of that where I lay my line in. And when that fish hits it, pops that trigger, the rod slides using the bend of the rod to set the hook, falls back to that point 0, and set the hook on the fish. So adjust your drag accordingly so that those fish can fight it a little bit. Just kind of like a tip up, but you're fighting them on a rod. So awesome option. Just go drop it in a hole. Be right back, we'll do some jigging. There we go. There we go, nice fish. Good start. Slide that over just a touch. Get a good shot of it. Hey, he's fishing the Craigie, right? Yeah. Got one of those tied up.
Oh, it's in the bottom left.
Good, solid 16, 17-inch fish to start. Beautiful cutthroat. Way to start it. I think we're in the right spot, just have to wait for a few of them to come through. Trying to come. All right. Hold it up in the sun real quick. Beautiful little cutthroat there. Banded, almost, huh? Like a rainbow kind of?
Yeah, I thought it might be a...
one of those hybrids?
I thought it might be a hybrid at first when I saw that red.
Yeah, the red gill plates and stuff. And, yeah, red line. Nice.
I didn't see him on the flasher at all. He just
swooped in and grabbed it?
Yep.
Cool. There he is.
Yeah, that first one. The second one was on a rat creek with nowhere.
Got him. Whoa. He might fall. Yeah, I got one. No bait. All plastic.
Really?
Yeah. Him rushing in on it. Nice.
You the hand or you got it?
I think I might get him here. Maybe. Being a little stubborn at the hole. Woo. A little stubborn. Come on. Nice. He's not wanting to give up here.
Good one or just doesn't want to come up?
Decent, but does not want to get his head up here. He is dogging me. What a fight. Come on. Shouldn't take this long, Ian. It's not that big. Got him. There we go. Get him off the transducer. There we go.
Talking to me or the camera?
I don't know. Whoever wants to listen.
man.
All right.
Anyone will listen.
Awesome. Another fish. He's about the same size as the other one.
Crazy.
Good solid 17, maybe 18-inch fish. Might have a hybrid. Let me double check here. Stop rolling. Just rolling right here at the hole. He's a little smaller than the other one.
Smaller?
Yeah. out of the snoot. And beautiful, whoa, dropping on the ice, cutthroat. All right, we're gonna take a quick minute here and show you a little bit about the gear that we're using. So you can use inline reels, you can use spinning reels, you can use bait casters. Joey over here has a bait caster he's been using. The important thing is make sure that you balance the rod to the size of jig that you're using. You don't want to go terribly heavy with this real light quick tip. I'm using it really more for the small tungsten that I'm using. And I do have another medium powered rod that I had set up with that Craigie earlier with almost a 1/4 of an ounce jig head on it. So as the light has changed, we've gone to these smaller jigs, change up the rods, go to smaller rods. And a lot of times these horizontal baits, they'll have a lot of line twist too. So I'll come up the line a little bit. I'll put a little micro swivel connection here. That way you can change your leader diameters if you need to without changing your entire rod outfit, basically, your reel. So makes it kind of nice, keeps that presentation where you need it to be, and gets those fish sometimes to strike when they're really, really negative. But a small tungsten, this one right here is a homemade, custom-made tungsten. Just some fly tying beads really on a scud hook, and I'm just using a small hand-poured plastic. No bait on this one. A little bit more of a vertical orientation on this, but still horizontal. That line twist, definitely you still see it, so that swivel's a nice piece to put in there. And that vertical presentation with a little bit of plastic kind of makes it really look like a scud, I think. So, well, we'll see when we pick up another fish, and stay tuned. Henry's Lake, Idaho, catching cutthroats right now. Hopefully a hybrid coming up soon.
So here at Henry's, it's been our experience that as you get later into the day, the fish tend to kind of transition to much more, and maybe it's the fish that are most active, invertebrates, insects, nymphs, bloodworms, that kind of stuff, scuds. So a lot of scud-like patterns have always been super successful for us, kind of in that mid-morning to mid-afternoon range. And we've definitely seen that today as well. I haven't had any luck on any of the bigger baits, ripping like lipless crankbaits and stuff, early even. Didn't have anything really give it a time of day. And then we switched over to some smaller, like 5 mil tungsten teardrop jigs with little plastics and small chunk of a mealworm if I had maggots. Didn't get any early enough in the year this year to have them ready for this trip, but oh, there's another fish on me for a second there. Come on back. Come on back. Just kind of, sometimes they just kind of flash right through and go. Other times they're interested, so I don't know if they're just kind of on a travel route or what, but hopefully you can draw their attention enough with whatever you're presenting to make them stick around for a minute. But maggots, I like maggots especially for techniques like that where you're stacking them on top of a plastic, and it doesn't change the profile, doesn't change the action and the type of motion you're going to get out of those plastics, and that's one of the big appeals to those, right, is how you're jigging it and how you're getting that look in the water to entice a bite or to attract, but more often than not kind of to entice that bite, that trigger response. So I like those maggots. They're small, still gives them a little bit of something to hold on to that tastes like food once they grab it and put it in their mouth, but you're not changing that bait. So you can still do it with mealworms. So I've been just basically pinching the last third or so of the mealworm off and using that, so it's roughly the same size as like a maggot would be. It does the job okay, but I have probably had more success with maggots trying to do that exact type of thing. So hopefully we can pick up a few more before we head out. This afternoon bite's actually not been too bad so far. Mid-morning, or late morning, early afternoon, I guess I should say. But hopefully we'll pick up a few more.
Get over here on you.
He's just going right along the surface here.
Yeah,
You
that's
want-
what that makes it kind of tough. Watch your drag. I had to loosen mine up quite a bit and just let them run it. Just because they were getting so close to rubbing that line on that edge.
You slam it up high too, Joey?
No, right on the bottom.
Yeah, down there, kind of down low.
Yeah, I jigged and I never saw him because as it like got down to the bottom, he just nailed it right there.
Kind of have to wonder if they're not using this scar here as like a shade line or something, too. Ooh, he's acting like a good fish.
Yeah.
I'll watch your drag. You're still a little tight, maybe. Not on the edge.
Pretty good fish.
You're a little loose now.
I think this reel's just a piece.
I think drag just either on or off.
Yeah.
He's a little bigger.
Come on, get your head back
Careful,
up here.
careful, careful. You have strong line?
Yeah, I think it's 8.
There we go. Pushing the 18-inch mark now.
Let me guess, a cutthroat?
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good one, Mel. Getting a little bit of a hook. He was pretty determined. I got him and lost him, and then he went up to the surface and then chased me back down.
Seems a bit spunky. Not a huge one. It's definitely spunky though.
You out there that haven't seen a cutthroat, you want to show them the marks on the bottom? It's kind of the giveaway, almost like a slit little throat right there. Those little marks under the gill. Kind of iridescence, few spots, light copper color.
He
Beautiful
spun and
fish.
took my tungsten right off.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an old one, but
I haven't seen that.
broke the solder.
Yeah, it did. Need some tungsten?
Small tungsten, one of the casualties. Okay.
Say that's part of the problem too with these small tungsten and trout, especially cutthroat when they twist and turn on you and stuff. I've had a lot of them break at the end of where the solder is, but that's the first one I've seen bust right through the solder. That's impressive. Come on.
All right, what a way to end it. Not a bad day on the ice, not like
Not what you hope
deal
for,
breaker,
Henry's necessarily, but
exactly. A good solid fish. Took us a while to find them. Found the weeds, found the fish, had to downsize, had a lot of light coming through the ice. And we managed a few. So if you like our page, subscribe. It's Priority One Fishing. Like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram. And as always, tight lines.